So I took a Sharpie. Are you ready for this? Hello everybody, welcome back and Happy New Year. I hope these first few days have been kind to you and that you are also being kind to yourself. I know how overwhelming the new year can be, so just remind yourself that you have plenty of time to get everything you want to do done. I come to you today bearing some good news related to paper, and I wanted to share because I've seen a few different YouTubers discuss how their 2025 Tomoe River paper is not behaving the way that they were hoping it to or the way that they had even expected it to. If you're new to the planner scene or this is the first time you're hearing about this, here is the TLDR. Back in 2024, the manufacturer for Tomoe River paper switched. It was originally manufactured by Tomoe Gawa and it switched to be manufactured by Sanzen. Some people noticed a difference in sensation and feel because it was more of a quick drying paper, but ultimately the consensus was that nothing was too crazy for people to stop using their planner or to really make a stink about it. Me, on the other hand, I did. You can watch a video here. I did not like the new paper from the get-go. However, come 2025, for whatever reason, there has been an even bigger shift. It kind of was a conspiracy at first. People were discussing a bad batch. I made another video about that, and it turns out that yes, there was a bad batch of Tomoe River paper that was circulating, and it landed in people's planners, and understandably, a lot of people were upset because some of the utensils that they had been using for years and years without any issue was all of a sudden causing them problems. So I found this for myself. I realized I couldn't use fountain pens in this planner. I was experiencing bleed through, but also feathering, which is so odd. I've never seen that with Tomoe River paper. All of these like brush pens I could no longer use. And I kind of got to the point of being like, well, if I can't write in fountain pens in here, where am I going to get that chance? One of my lovely subscribers, Molly, shout out to Molly, suggested that I purchase an Iroful notebook. And this is an A5 75 GSM dot grid notebook. And she basically just said, give it a go. I haven't had any issues with, ghosting, bleed through, and it could be a great alternative just as a fun notebook to use. So I did purchase one of these, and I wanted to share with you guys just how amazing this paper is. Again, it's Iroful. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but let me just show you guys the swatches that I did. So first and foremost, I want to go out and say that not only does this paper hold up really well against these different utensils, but you're also getting such a nice, vibrant, deep color. If you are into fountain pens and you are into swatching, you'll know that shading and sheening is something that's very important. You want to see the dimension of your fountain pens as you're laying the ink down. And that was something that I noticed right off the bat with this paper, even with an ink as simple as this carbon blue, which doesn't really have any dimension in it to begin with. It's a simple blue ink. You can see just how beautiful that is. There's kind of a gradient between a darker blue where the ink is settled and then a lighter blue at the top there. This Queco purple ink as well. You can see there's beautiful shading there. And even in these zig dots, you can see once again the shading there as well. So that was the first thing I noticed, was the vibrancy of ink. And I'll give this a little brief comparison as well. You can see this side by side, just how brighter the pink is, just how deeper the purple is, etc. So that was the very first thing I noticed. I was like, wow, my inks look great. The second thing that I noticed is that the actual sensation as I was writing was a dream. My fountain pens glided, but there was also still a little bit of grip, so I didn't feel like it was out of control. And as a result, for some reason, my hand, like my actual handwriting, looked neater. So I was like, ooh, that's a win as well. And even with my other utensils, like this was with the fountain pens, which was lovely. But moving on to my Uniball Jetstream, the sensation was also just so nice. And one thing that I kind of always disliked about the Tomoe River paper initially was I never felt like my ballpoint pens were doing anything special with the paper. I much preferred writing on other paper just because I felt like there wasn't enough grip to it. But this has some beautiful grip. Once again, it just made my handwriting really shine. So that was the other thing that I really enjoyed. But then I wanted to put this paper to the test because the primary reason why I wanted to try it out and why it was recommended to me was to see the ghosting and the bleed through. So I took a Sharpie, okay guys? I took a freaking Sharpie, not a Sharpie fine liner. I took the Sharpie that you write on everything with, and I did a swatch test here. Are you ready for this? That's a Sharpie. I don't see anything coming through. Of course there's ghosting, but no ink is coming through. And if you guys know Sharpie like I know Sharpie, you know that this guy bleeds through on everything. So that to me, I was like actually shook, like to my core. You can see all of these utensils, not a single one is peeking through in the slightest. There aren't even dots of bleed through. Yes, there is a little bit of shadow, a little bit of ghosting, but I'm not worried in the slightest because it took a Sharpie. Like, are you kidding? I know that there might be some skeptics in the comments being like, well, you did it off camera, so that means it's fake. So let me do another swatch. Okay. Boom. Nothing. There's nothing coming through. So my point being is that if you are really disappointed with your Tomoe River paper planner and you would like to purchase a notebook just so that you can use your fountain pens and have a place for them, then I highly recommend this notebook here. Again, it's stock grid, so if you wanted to set it up as a bullet journal, you could do that as well. And it's decently affordable considering the paper quality. I think I purchased this notebook for around $23 to $25. And again, like, guys, the paper. So anyway, I just wanted to come on and say that, let you know that there is hope for the future of our paper. And I know that you might be a little bit set off kilter because you're figuring out the realities of the new Tomoe River paper, but there are alternatives, and if you just want a nice paper experience, go get yourself one of these guys. All right, everybody, that is it for today. Once again, I want to give a special shout out and thank you to Molly for suggesting this notebook. It is my child. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and giving it a huge thumbs up. I will see you next time. Stay cozy and bye-bye.